I thought I was just burnt out and tired, but it wasn't my body that had nothing left to give. It was my soul. I was showing up every day to work, ready to win. I was in hustle grind mode for years, chasing the next sale, but deep down, I was empty. Most people don't quit because they're lazy. They quit because they're tired of giving everything to a job or organization that does not fulfill. Some people don't quit their jobs physically, but they quit in their hearts. I didn't burn out from doing too much. I burned out from doing too much of the wrong thing. If you've been feeling drained, stuck, or like your job is slowly sucking the joy out of your life, there are 5 signs I discovered about giving too much to your job and how I found what actually matters. These are the things I personally experienced before I finally understood the true value of what work and building my life was supposed to look like. So let's get it started. You're always tired even after a day off. Let me ask you a super important question. When you go home from work or take a day off, do you really feel fully rested and refueled for the next day? If not, why is that? Shouldn't taking the day off, shouldn't having time away from the stress and pressure revitalize you? But instead, you do get the rest, but you never feel rested. That's not just physical exhaustion, it's emotional depletion. For myself, I was carrying stress I never processed, expectations I never questioned, and pressure I never invited. And it was slowly taking a toll I couldn't ignore anymore. For the past 5 years, I've worked in this roofing industry as a salesperson. It is quite the grind, if I'm being honest, and without proper mental recovery, I would burn out fast. I have burnt out many times actually, but I got back up and I stuck around. The turnover rate for salespeople in this industry is really brutal, but I stuck through it all because it paid really well, right? That's why we continue to show up for our jobs. It's for the money, so we can eventually buy back the time we sacrificed and enjoy it. Isn't that what it's all about? I can't complain though about that too much because this industry has transformed my life financially without a college degree or any prior experience. I know that I was blessed it found me, honestly. I started at 23. I'm 28 now, I'll be 29 in October, and I've been here ever since. And that leads me into my second point. You feel guilty when you rest. Now, I know that already sounds pretty toxic, right? When I wasn't working, I felt like I was just wasting time, comparing myself in my mind to my coworkers who were always out busy and grinding. Like I hadn't earned the right to slow down. That's not drive, it's actually bondage. Rest isn't just hard, it feels wrong. You sit down to breathe, but there's this nagging voice in your head, or at least for me, it was in my chest, saying, you should be doing something. You should be out there. You should be killing yourself. You should be sweating. I used to feel like rest had to be earned. If I wasn't hitting numbers or driving around appointments endlessly, I felt lazy, even if I was exhausted. I even developed an energy drink addiction. But that wasn't ambition, it was shame disguised as productivity. I confused busyness and worth. And what I thought was driving me was really just fear. Fear of falling behind. That was the root. Fear of not being enough. I would even have this insecurity that my employers would be talking behind my back and judging me based on my performance. I felt they only liked me when I was making the company money. So this led me to a biblical insight that brought everything into perspective. Psalm 127. Unless the Lord, God, builds the house, those who build it labor in vain, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep. Regardless if you believe in God or not, it's important to know why you're working, because if not, you'll never know when it's enough, and you'll never know what's worth sacrificing and what's not, because your work shapes who you're becoming. One hidden beauty about having to go to work or investing in a career is it forms your character, it forms your values, it forms your relationships and who you meet and your networking and lifestyle. It makes you the person you will be from 5 to 10 years from now. You are who you surround yourself with and who your environment is. And look, I'm totally compassionate and understanding of this as well. Some people aren't chasing a purpose right now. Their main focus is to survive and to get their head above water and pay bills. You might be in a place right now where you're just trying to, make ends meet. But even then, the question still matters. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And is it forming me into someone I want to become? Number 3 is your passion for life is fading. Do you ever catch yourself saying or thinking things like, I'll get back to that one day. I just don't have the energy anymore. I used to love doing that, or I don't even know what I enjoy anymore. Those are not random thoughts. Those are signs too. Signs that something's gone quiet inside of you. And the longer you ignore it, the more distant it gets. But then we get older, time passes, reality checks us, and we start to work. We enter the workforce, we get busy, our calendars get flooded, we're swamped, we're focused, but we're also stretched thin financially. And little by little, the things that used to light us up got pushed to the side. They got put on the back burner. Not because we didn't care, but because life got loud. And when you're constantly trying to meet deadlines, pay bills, and keep up, and you're stressing about all the horrible things that could possibly happen, you stop asking questions like, what do I love? What makes me feel alive? And instead, you just focus on making it to the weekend. Then the weekend comes and you're too tired to enjoy it, or you just spend your hard-earned money trying to feel something, trying to upgrade your life, distract yourself, or rewarding yourself for surviving another week, just trying to make it to Friday, right? And I am 100% guilty of this myself. I bought comfort, I chased convenience, and I escaped what I didn't have to, or didn't have the capacity to deal with. But Monday always came back, and without even realizing it, I was falling into that cycle. A cycle where you work to rest, rest to recover, and then start all over again, like a little hamster just spinning the wheel. A cycle where you're constantly spinning your wheels but never actually getting free. But isn't that so interesting? Because you're doing everything the world told you to do, and you still feel like something's missing. This really reminds me of a verse in Ecclesiastes. I'm going to paraphrase it for easier understanding. But basically, it says, I went after everything I desired, and I did not hold back from enjoying anything. I, fulfilled all my pleasures, even found joy in working hard and building things like a business or getting a raise or growing in my career. But when I looked back at it all, none of it truly mattered. It felt empty, like chasing something you can never catch. Number 4, you envy people doing meaningful work. I envied people doing meaningful work. But then I saw and learned from people doing work that actually had purpose. It's like my eyes were finally open to that new perspective. I just quietly wish that could be me. Not for the money, though I'd love for that to happen and have an income doing what I love, but for the meaning, because that's what I knew would fulfill me. Because deep down, I knew I was made for more than just sales goals and surface level rewards. I just didn't know how to get there, or if I was even allowed to want that. So, as a coping mechanism, I used to push that longing down, and I'd tell myself, just be grateful for what you have, and I was, but being grateful doesn't mean you have to ignore the ache for something deeper. I wanted to do work that didn't just pay, but meant something, work that built people, not just income, work that was truly fulfilling. And that's why I started this YouTube channel. Not because I have it all figured out, but because I'm done pretending that success equals purpose. I wanted to share real thoughts, real struggles, and real reflections that I wish someone had spoken when I was just grinding through life, chasing a paycheck. Because I believe deep down, a lot of us are asking the same question. Is this all there is? Do I have to stay here forever? Am I self-sabotaging what is truly possible because of a limiting belief? And if I can help even just one person slow down, reflect, and find their way back to something real, then it was all worth it. I am proud of what I created. So that leads me into my last point. Number 5, you've lost peace and joy, even if the money's good. Having a steady job that pays well feels great, especially when you're hardworking and it's helping you build independence. We need essential workers and innovation to keep society moving forward. Life today is more comfortable than it's ever been, and I'm so grateful we keep finding better ways to live. All that progress comes with a cost though, because everything does. High performance often requires high output, mentally, emotionally, physically, and over time, the chronic stress it can build up, leading to burnout, fatigue, and even health problems. The body pays for sustained effort, especially in high demand environments like sales and service and labor. I think there was one book that someone recommended me. It was called Your Body Keeps the Score. I can leave the link of that book down in the description. But your body really does keep the score with everything that you go through and all the toil you deal with in life. If you've been feeling like this, tired, numb, or wondering what the point of it all is, just know you're not broken, but you're waking up. It's better for you to wake up now than to be a lot older. I don't know how old you are, but better to wake up in your 20s than in your 40s and realize that before you have limited time and a lot of responsibilities that you really can't let go of and you have to be responsible for. Maybe the job isn't the problem. Maybe it just wasn't meant to carry your sense of identity or purpose. So if you got this far in the video, I greatly appreciate you. I thank you so much for listening and watching and having to watch me get wrecked at the second half of Elden Ring here. Trying to do this remembrance for this character. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I look forward to engaging with you guys. And if there's something I missed or a perspective I did not consider, I am open, and I like to think of myself as having an open mind and being teachable. So leave whatever you like, and see you in the next one.
It won't reveal to you perhaps the other battles. I suppose all you can